We're now into course 4 of sales and communication. And in this video training, we're going to be discussing various challenges and opportunities that exist within your working environment. And so when you think of an optometric practice, on a day-to-day basis, you find various situations and scenarios that perhaps you're not planned to encounter, but they do happen, that are beyond your control. Or actually, are they in your control? Let's look at how you should be approaching various situations that may arise within the optometric practices throughout the course of the day as an employee within the practice. And so always identify and prioritize the problem. This is so critical that you take ownership of a situation immediately. Don't try and abdicate responsibility. You who sees that, okay, we've got a situation on our hands, take charge, identify the problem, and most importantly, prioritize the problem. There's nothing so irritating than seeing an employee not knowing what's going on, or a problem arises and they don't know what do they need to do to fix that particular problem. And so when you identify and acknowledge the problem and you prioritize the problem, it shows that you are serious enough about finding a potential solution to it. So someone comes complaining about something, someone comes raising a major concern that it's a big problem to them. You need to be in a position where you say, sir, ma'am, this, what you're experiencing right now, or this which you are raising right now, it's completely unacceptable and it shouldn't have happened. And so before I give you any form of information, can I just make sure that I clearly understand what it is that you're complaining about, and so that I can get as much detail in this situation in order for us to come up with a solution, not only for you, but to ensure that this solution will actually be something that is a standard within the practice. Take charge. When you're dealing with a consumer and you're communicating with them effectively in a manner that they can hear that you are solving this problem, it makes them at ease, or it puts them at ease. Remember, once a trade has taken place between the practice and a consumer, once a purchase has been made, anything related to a purchase, you then move from just being an employee or an eyewear consultant, for example. You are transitioning then to becoming a salesperson. Once you are a salesperson, one of the key fundamentals of being in sales is that you are a problem solver. So you need to get that and get it very clear that when you are a sales individual, how you communicate, what you're communicating, why you're communicating is pertaining to you finding a solution to whatever problem that has risen. And so once you see that, okay, here's a problem, I've identified the problem, and the next thing that you need to then do after you have prioritized that, okay, this is something that we need to sort out with urgency, you need to select the necessary people that will help address that problem. And so important to know the different kinds of potential problems that can occur and which people are best suited to address that. Very, very clear that within the working environment that you are in, you guys actually have a detailed breakdown of all the potential problems that might exist within an optometric practice. The service delivery challenges, delayed jobs, appointment no-shows, complaints pertaining to the actual products, miscommunication. What happens when a product is now outside of the warranty and guarantee conditions and a person is complaining, but they're not due yet for the eye examinations to get a new pair of spectacles? That could be a potential problem for the patient that requires you as the practice to solve. So you need to have a breakdown of the various types and kinds of potential problems that a practice might encounter. You said you're going to call a patient and you didn't. Now they are frustrated and they are leaving town, going somewhere else, and they don't have their contact lenses. So if a practice has a day where they're saying, okay guys, let's touch base on the different types of problems and you put it in your file that includes all your standard operating procedures for the different components of the business, then you know that, okay, whenever we've got this situation and we only have these people at work present on the day, this is the best person suited for this particular problem and finding a solution. Whenever everyone is here and this problem comes about, this is how we go about solving this one. And these are the best people that will be suited to solving that particular problem. The challenge is that a lot of practices miss the opportunity that exists in the challenges that they are faced with on a day-to-day basis. Why? It's because we just look at things like, this is the optometric team, this is the administrative staff, but whenever issues arise, there isn't a particular individual that we know would be best suited for this. Anything dispensing related, get the dispenser on board immediately. Anything admin related, get the administrative staff on board immediately. Anything product related, get the dispenser or the optometrist. So once even if you are in a practice that there's only 2 or 3 of you in the practice, make sure you are clear on this type of problem. This is who's supposed to solve it. This is the initial communication that has to be taking place between myself and the patient, even when that particular person that it can take over that responsibility of the problem is not there. But once you are clear on this problem, this is the way we communicate it, this is who's going to be best suited to handle it, it makes the communication between the practice and the consumer much more easier. And you end up not losing the potential sales, because within that challenge, you are able to then to show or take charge, take responsibility, take ownership of the problem. And the patient or the consumer can be able to see that you are actually focused on finding a solution for me. And so that's very important. Never allow others, especially if you are a leader, to think that you have the best answers for all problems. So there has to be a culture in the team, in the organization that you are working for, whereby you have this approach that it's how great the team is, not how great you are as an individual. And so even if you are the most skilled, the most talented, the most knowledgeable, the best thing that you need to be doing as an employee within the team is train others to get to the level that you are at. So, I'm actually part of an organization, and in this organization there's about 100 of us. And how it works is leadership is as a result of those that take responsibility. The only thing that separates leaders from the followers, if you think about it, it's the level of responsibility that an individual takes. The less responsibility you take, the more of a follower you are. The more responsibility you take, and ownership and accountability, the more of a leader you become. Leadership opportunities grow in relation to the problems that you are solving. And so if you are in an environment where you are always the person that is taking responsibility, but you are not training others that are under you or that are with you in the team to get to the level that you are, you're going to stay complacent as an individual within the working environment. But the more people that you equip with new skills, the more people that you equip with taking responsibility, taking accountability, upskilling their capacity or enhancing or increasing their capacity to be able to do certain things. It means when they get to do what you have always been doing, it forces you to then level up to another level. When you get to that level and are great at that level, you're bringing them up again. It forces you to do what? Elevate yourself, because you are elevating them. And that's how it works. So if you are that person who's always the go-to person all the time, but the rest of the team is not at the level at which you are supposed to be at, it compromises the capacity of the team, because the greater the difference in competence between individual team members, the greater the detriment it then becomes for the actual business. So then it doesn't really matter how great you are if the rest of the team is not at the level at which it's supposed to be. So even if you're an employee and you identify that, wait a minute, I've got amazing qualities that the rest of the team doesn't have, train the team. Take ownership of the training and development section within your team, the carrying out of responsibilities and duties. Then take ownership of those activities in order for the rest of the team to know how do they handle various challenges, situations, scenarios, and where are the opportunities that exist within those examples that we've just made reference to. Because you want to help grow the team. When the team grows, you grow as an individual. And that contributes towards your professional development as an individual. And it can open a wide range of opportunities for you in the long run, simply because you are a person that lifts others up. You're bringing them up to a level of competency and excellence that they're supposed to be at. And that opens up doors of leadership opportunities for you as an employee. And so don't always be thinking that it's only the owner of the business who should be taking responsibility. As an entire team, basically, you guys need to know that we have to be a problem-solving team and not a problem-solving individual only. And so if you're just that one individual who's always knows everything, well, the rest of the team would actually not be wanting to be part of it. Because I remember I used to play, growing up, I played soccer, right? This is probably a separate example, but when I used to play soccer, one of the things that I struggled with as an individual was that I was the best player in the team, and the rest of the team was nowhere close to the level at which I was playing at. So what happens in a game? Everyone is passing me the ball. I'm the one doing the tackling. I'm the one fetching the ball there. Everyone. I'm working like 200% more than everyone, but the results are not there because the rest of the team was not producing the results that they were supposed to be producing. And they ended up not enjoying playing with me at one stage, simply because I'm doing everything by myself. And they did not see what their role is. They did not see what do they contribute to the game. They did not see what is the benefit of them even being part of the team. And so even in an optometric practice, whenever a person feels like, well, they're not needed in this situation, what will their attitude going forward be? They will never share ideas. They will never contribute to anything. They will never ask anything. They will simply just be doing that which they are told and leave it at that. They will add no value whatsoever to the organization, simply because they know that, well, it doesn't really matter. So make them be part of the solution. And we even say here, the more the team is involved in solution finding, the more involvement that you will get within the organization or within the practice. And so one of the things about team involvement is that, or teamwork, it's that it offers you multiple perspectives, several alternatives, energy, passion. There's just more capacity that the organization has when individual team members feel like they are part of the solution. So I challenge you to ensure that when you are in an organization and you are listening in or watching this video training as an employee, and you're currently in a working environment that does not have that approach to problem solving, and it's affecting how you guys are communicating, it's affecting sales, take charge of initiating this thing within the working environment and say, guys, here's what I'm thinking. As a team, we will be able to achieve more, do more, have more sales when the way in which we are solving problems is changed. And this is what I'm recommending. Let's all have a file that we individually have in terms of, these are all the potential problems that could arise in an optometric practice. These are the potential solutions. These are the people or individuals that are best suited to solve this problem. And you discuss it amongst the team and you come up with a solution that will work best for the working environment that you are in. I'm telling you, you're going to find how the team functions in terms of communication surrounding challenges and opportunities within sales communication changing. and that's going to impact the sales of the business. And if the sales of the business go up, the incentive structures and bonuses and packages of the team is also then going to change and increase as well. And so, as a take-home message from this message, characteristics that can help you, that you need to actually develop, that can help you be more competent when it comes to dealing with various challenges and problems that may arise within the practice, or between the practice and the patient or the consumer, is you need to be very resilient, very, very resilient as an individual. Your competency should always be increased. Work on increasing your competency skills. That is so critical that you do that. Have strong emotional intelligence, because remember, whenever a challenge arises, emotions go up. Patient is frustrated, the customer that feels that the service delivery was completely useless is very frustrated, very angry, and they will show certain emotions. And so as a business or as an employee, it's very, very important that you understand that you have to have emotional intelligence and understand the different types of emotions that exist in order for you to be able to handle a situation better. You have to be forward thinking and future focused as a team. Understand that if we solve this problem, this is the result it will have going forward. This is how we're going to win this particular individual in the long run. And if we can make sure that we deliver on solving this problem beyond expectations, this is how it will impact the business and the relationship between ourselves and this consumer. And so always be forward thinking. Don't just limit your thinking to be on the immediate situation only. Look at what impact. If someone got a service that was not satisfactory or had a problem that really, really upset them, and you solve it for them, you win that person for a very long time, and it influences the value that the practice has or adds to that particular individual. It increases the opportunities of loyalty between them and you. So that's very, very powerful for you to be thinking in a forward manner. A critical component, though, is you have to be trustworthy. Be trustworthy. Be a person of your word whenever you are dealing with a problem or finding a solution. Be trustworthy. Next, you have to have great communication skills. It's so critical that you're constantly harnessing your communication skills all the time, because in a problem or in a heated debate, in a challenge that you have to be solving, great communication makes all the difference. And so constantly develop those communication skills that can help you navigate that process with ease. And so great communication enables you to navigate any form of ambiguity that could exist between the consumer and the practice. And constantly learn. That file that I said you need to be having, it's not a once-off thing. You will not have all the problems listed on that thing. Some problems you would yet to discover and yet to learn about. It's a broad-based. There could be challenges and problems that arise via social media, via your website. The list is endless. So you have to constantly be learning. How do you learn? Always be looking at, guys, this which we are doing, is it the best way in which we can do it? How can we improve on it? How can we do it better? How can we excel more in it? And so constantly learn and stay learning. Looking at old ways of doing things, or unlearning old ways of doing things, and constantly relearning new ways of doing things. And be persistent. Be persistent. Whenever you can see this pushback, be persistent in a situation. And always seek solutions and constantly ask questions. That's basically the characteristics or the approach that you need to be having as an individual within your working environment when it comes to problem solving, challenges and opportunity identification. That's the approach that you need to have. So I just want to encourage you that this is something that you you've got the power to actually go back in the working environment and start implementing, because it's greatly going to influence and impact your professional journey in the long run.